Charles Darwin was born on February 12, 1809, in a small merchant town of Shrewsbury, England. A child of wealth and privilege who loved to explore nature, Darwin was the second youngest of 6 kids total. Darwin came from a long line of scientists and doctors. His father, Dr. R. W. Darwin, was a medical doctor. His grandfather, Dr. Erasmus Darwin, was a renowned botanist. Darwin's mother, Susanna, died when he was only 8 years old. In October of 1825, when Darwin was 16, he enrolled at Edinburgh University along with his brother Erasmus. After 2 years, he became a student at Christ College in Cambridge. His father hoped he would follow in his footsteps and become a medical doctor, but the sight of blood made Darwin queasy. His father suggested he study to become a parson instead, but Darwin was far more inclined to study natural history.
Darwin attended Christ College, Cambridge University. During his time there, he was mentored by a botany professor whose name was John Stevens Henslow. Henslow recommended him to work as a naturalist aboard the HMS Beagle, which was set to take a 5-year tour around the world. On this tour, Darwin's job was to collect a variety of natural specimens from each place they explored, including plants, fossils, and birds. The ship launched under the command of Captain Robert Fitzroy. Upon entering the ship, we read that Darwin was somewhat panicked about the smallness of the ship, though at this point he would not back out. This voyage was an excellent opportunity for Darwin, who was fresh out of college, to gain experience. Throughout his experience, Darwin had many unique opportunities to learn more about and apply his knowledge of botany, geology, and zoology. The places which most interested Darwin were the Pacific Islands, the Galapagos Islands off the coast of Ecuador, and South America as a whole. Darwin returned to England October 1836. At this point, he began writing and publishing the ideas and discoveries he had throughout his voyage. This trip, as he wrote in the Zoology of the Findings of the Beagle, had a huge impact on Darwin and the way he viewed the world. It was at this point in his life that he began to develop the view on the origin of humans that is widely popular today. In 1839, Darwin married his first cousin, Emma Wedgwood. Together, they had 10 children, 3 of which died in childhood. 4 of their sons became prominent scientists. After a long, full life of research, Darwin died at his home in London on April 19, 1882, and was buried in Westminster Abbey.
Charles Darwin had many impacts on the scientific community, whether that was through his study of plant life or geology. He is most well known for a publication called On the Origin of Species. In this work, Darwin sought to give the world a concise theory for how life on Earth had come to be so diverse, from plants to animals to humans. His theory proposed that all life on Earth had descended from one common ancestor. This happened over millions of years through a process called natural selection. Natural selection is, essentially, the process whereby various hereditary trait changes come about in nature. That nature includes us humans. Darwin especially pointed out the ways in which it seemed that animal life had been specifically formed through various ecological changes in environments. Darwin's work on the origin of species has come to be known as the biologist's Bible, providing a basis for all modern studies in this area of science. His lesser-known contributions contain works about natural selection in relation to sex, human and animal emotions, and a work titled The Formation of Vegetable Mold Through the Actions of Worms. This work was actually his last before he died.
When Darwin came out with his Origin of Species, as to be expected, it was greeted with great skepticism. Many of the opponents of Darwin were scientists themselves, not merely the church, as many would argue today. For example, Adam Sedgwick, one of the founders of modern geology, described Darwin's theory as a vast pyramid resting on its apex, and that apex a mathematical point. One of Darwin's greatest critics was St. George Mivart, a biologist who pointed to the dilemma of incipient stages, an issue with this theory still held today. However, Darwin also had those who supported his work. Asa Gray, a devout Presbyterian, was one of Darwin's leading supporters in America. However, one of the most notable of these supporters is Thomas Henry Huxley. While he had his doubts about Darwin's theory, Huxley was one of Darwin's most avid supporters, earning the nickname Darwin's Bulldog, even supporting Darwin's theory in a public debate against William Wilberforce.
What do you mean?